Hello, hello. Welcome back to SCM 2024. I'm Carter, and I am very pleased to introduce our runner for this next segment, Goofball the Cat, as well as our commentator, Benigno. What's up, guys?
Howdy.
So, this run is called Dark Souls Lord of the Rings. Goof, can you tell us what that means?
All right, so this is a speedrun category, an actual category on the actual speedrun.com leaderboard. I had no part in naming it. It was named this way before I was born. And the goal of this category is to collect one of every ring in the game. There are 41 different rings, so we're going to get one of each. I have a little counter in the top right to help us keep track. And then we're going to cast them into the fire by linking the flame at the end.
So, you are going to become the Lord of the Rings.
Absolutely.
Love that. All right. Well, welcome, guys. Goof, if you're ready, and Benigno, if you're ready, we can go ahead and get right into it. If you want to give a countdown to the tech folks, they will press start. And, well, I guess you got to set up the character first. So do your thing, Goof.
Yeah, I will do that. And by the way, this is my homeboy, Benny. He is my commentator. He is a Dark Souls runner. Perhaps semi-retired,
Yeah,
right? We're
a bit retired.
a little bit. Well, just to go through real quickly the options we have here, we're starting male because the game's a little sexist and male is actually a bit faster. Your character goes a little faster optimally, and there are some animation specific glitches that work better as a male character. We're starting Pyromancer because it gives us access to the Pyro Flame. It lets us do a glitch called Air Rolls, and it lets us do a glitch called Homeward Wrong Warp. That's what we use the Pyro Flame with. Gift, we're going to start with the Old Witch Ring. And believe it or not, that puts us at one ring. Yeehaw. All right, then the rest, we're just going to keep the same. And I'm sorry, I forgot to count down, so I'll count down right now. The timer hasn't really started yet. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you. So we start in the Asylum, just like every other Dark Souls run. I don't really know what to say about that. We're going to be doing some menuing here on the ladder. It is an important feature of Dark Souls speedruns that we do lots of menuing at points where our character is stuck in an animation, because the game keeps going while we're in the menus. But so I took off all of my armor and the ring just because it's going to slow us down. I say all of my armor, I mean most of my armor, because we're keeping these gloves on. These gloves will give us a bit of extra bleed resistance for lower Undead Berg later, which is just nice to have, because there's a lot of bleedy enemies down there that really, really like to kill us. We have pretty low health at the point we'll be down there. Alright, getting the hand axe, because that'll be our weapon to fight the Asylum Demon. And
It
over
won't be
here...
the only one, but it'll be the main.
Yeah. We'll also be using Fireball for Asylum Demon, but just there I went up to trigger the boulder, but also dropped down to open that shortcut door for later. Right here we're going to talk to Oscar, because believe it or not, it's faster than just killing him. Up here we're going to run past some hollows who will hopefully be polite. We're going to pick up the Pyro Flame. Ow. Okay. Unscratched.
Frodo got a little scratched up too when he did this, I remember.
I love the part of the movie where he fights Asylum Demon.
Alright, now that we're done with that, we can actually go play the game. So we are going to start by going to Undead Berg. part of this is it's not just collecting all the rings. We also essentially have to do an any percent playthrough. So we will be setting up stuff to get rings, but we will also just be going through to ring the 2 bells of awakening, which we're going to need to do to access the kiln of the first flame so that we can do a homeward wrong warp to get to the final area of the game. But besides that, we're going to be collecting some rings. So our first stop through Undead Burg here is we're going to go to the Undead Merchant. So everything in the Undead Burg has undead as a prefix before its name. We're going to buy an undead few arrows, an undead key, an undead bow. Then we're going to jump down to the lower Undead Burg.
And how many rings are there total that we need to get in this run? Oh, I see. 41. It's up in the top right. Chad, if you can't read like I can't read, check out the top right corner of the screen and you can see how we're doing on the ring progress.
You can also check out the blue guy on the bottom of the screen.
Is he going to get more blue if we get more rings?
that would be really funny.
All right. Easy parkour. We are now in lower Undead Burg. Easiest skip in the game.
Nice.
Nobody's ever had trouble with it in history. Actually, there's a nice little setup we have for that using fancy keybinds that makes it pretty consistent to get down there. But way back in the day, and by way back in the day I mean a couple years ago, there wasn't such a setup. So back in the Dark Ages, you would just have to manually wing it, and it was not consistent at all. And many a run was lost to that.
Yeah, it still isn't a free segment of the run, because you still have lower Undead Burg to go through, but it's definitely way more comfy.
Alright. We're gonna just stop over here, grab some black fire bombs. I'm quitting out periodically in this segment to de-aggro enemies mostly. When you quit out and load back in, the enemies come back in their default positions and not yet aggroed, so that just makes running through more consistent. I suppose it's theoretically possible to go through all of this without quitting out, but it's not going to be me who's doing it. We're also going to pick
We don't
up
need to put you through that.
Do we not? Okay, that's good. That's good to hear.
Can I sneak in a couple cute donations really quick?
Let's real quickly. So I'm going to do a setup that I haven't practiced.
Do your thing.
That
just let me know.
Will hopefully make this feller fall off the roof or the bridge. If not, I'll just do the normal fight. Okay. Not quite, but there we go. Bye-bye.
Nice. You guys got the footage that the GDQ crowd didn't get?
Oh, yeah. I did
exclusive content to
a GDQ hotfix last week. Humble brag. And I was not able to get that then. Forest Demon didn't. But I'll just say real quick, I'm going to use this gold pine resin to chop off Hellkite's tail. And that's the weapon we're going to use. The tail weapon, his Drake's sword, is what we're going to use for gargoyles and Quelaag, but then we're going to switch to something better. And I'm sorry, Carter, please go ahead and read those donations. I want to hear them.
No apology necessary. I love seeing that Taurus Demon strat. It's very funny. He just kind of yeets himself to death. I have $25 from Operator Semi Group with no comment. Thank you so much for that generous donation to save the children. I also have $20 from Ella, who says, "Does this game hurt my souls?" That's a kind of a deep question. And I also have $10 from Volley Harmon, who says, "Save the children." That's right. That's exactly what we're here to do. All of these donations go straight to the Save the Children charity, doing great work to make a huge difference in the lives of malnourished and underprivileged kids in some of the most war-torn and and underserved areas in the world. It's really a fantastic cause, and we've already raised almost $9,000 for Save the Children in this event. I don't know, chat. I think the probability of us hitting that 5 figures, that 10K, is looking pretty good. So let's get those donations in. Let's bring this event to a amazing close. We've got 2 more runs to Save the Children, and with that, I'll give it back to Goof and Benny.
All right, it's Gargan time. Gargs did
not
not decide
concerning
to give
at
me,
all that Hollow Room.
did not decide to give me the best opening. But we're just gonna R1 these guys, and they're gonna like it, or else.
I'm gonna lie, this fight looks like a good mixture of fun and painful at the same time. Because
It
of
can
the no move
definitely-
swap.
Yeah, so the thing is, most runs by the time you get to Gargoyles would have move swap. Okay, there we go. And move swap is a glitch that allows you to increase the damage per second of your weapon, essentially, by transferring a fast running attack of another weapon to a heavier hitting weapon. But we're not that lucky. It doesn't really save time to get one this early.
Do you
And-
need to heal to get the roll?
I just think it makes it more consistent, even if I'm at full health,
Okay.
to roll out of the heal animation.
Yeah, that's fair. That's interesting. That's something I didn't know.
Well, check it out. We got a couple of rings from Oswald. Goodbye, that guy. And not just because we don't like him, although we don't. We are going to pick up a ring off of his corpse later. Going to drop some stuff here. And now we're not actually going to Quelaag yet. We are going to New Londo Ruins. First thing we're going to pick up right here, actually, is the S-Stock, which will allow us to move swap for one entire boss fight for Quelaag, which is what's right next after this. But there's a couple of rings here to get. That's the entire reason we're coming here. One is the Curse Bite ring, which isn't all that useful. The other is the Red Tearstone ring, which is very, very, very useful. The Red Tearstone ring, also called RTSR, doubles our damage when we're at low health. Even lower than that, even. And by the way, if I can manage to jump straight, just gonna do a little AFK setup here, by the way.
Interesting.
Oh, nice one. Sorry about that. Never mind. I unequipped the Pyroflame. Kind of need that.
Oh, yeah.
Little brain fart moment. It'll eventually become a 2 and all will be well. True. I can, if we really, really want to, stop and crop that out. But so here, we're putting out to de-aggro the ghost behind me. And this is so that we can lob our black fire bombs at Ingward here. And the reason we do that is not because we really need to... He drops the key to the seal, which lets us lower the water in New Londo and access a lower area. It's not because we need that for any progress-related reason, for like beating the game. That's never really done in speedruns anymore, except for like glitchless. It's just so that we can get down there, because that's the fastest way to get to the Red Tearstone ring. So that's where we're going next, is just to grab that. We're gonna do a little scaredy... Oop. I fucking died. Sorry. You see, the point of that was supposed to be that jump and quit out was 1, safety to de-aggro the ghosts. 2, because then my bloodstain would be outside of the ghost house. We got a ring, by the way. But I guess it will be when we go back down there, so that's nice. I'm just scared of those ghosts. They're annoying and scary and ugly.
And, I remember when I was trying to get all achievements in this game, and I was killing a bunch of those for the 1% weapon that they drop, only to figure out that it wasn't necessary for all achievements. Really good
Oh,
times.
damn. Yeah. Did you read one of those fake wikis that doesn't know what they're talking about?
I think what I did was misread the achievement thing, and I thought you needed all of the weapons and not the weirdly rare weapons of the game, as the trophy says.
All right, take 2, y'all. It's gonna be good.
And you said that like a movie star, you know, like the main guy on an actual movie. It was really cool.
Okay, if you would let me through, though. All right, thank you. No fog gate here. All right, our souls. Where are they? We kind of need those. All right, hold on. We're gonna get him. Please don't. Okay. See, as you can see, very scary. Okay, all right, we're doing great.
Oh, yeah.
All right, take 3. Third tries the charm.
Take 2 is already really good, so I feel like it can only get better from here.
Thank you.
I can tell since we have some time, I can tell a story about a lot of the rings that I have, and
Please do.
that that was a point in time where I watched the first Lord of the Rings movie on Netflix and the second one, but then I was like, okay, next weekend I'll watch the third one. But funnily enough, between me watching the second one and the third one, they removed all the movies from Netflix, so I never watched the third one to this day, and I
To
only
this
watched the
day.
first two ones. Yeah. People always get mad at me when I tell this story because I never went to watch the third one somewhere else, but a bit lazy.
I'm not mad at you. I'm jealous. I would love to watch Return of the King for the first time again. You're
Ooh.
in for a treat.
Man, I hope so. I'll definitely watch at some point, but I think at this point I need to wait for the right time, you know?
You gotta just clear out a day. Just find a day when you can watch the extended editions, all of them, if in like all 12 hours, start to finish, and just
Damn.
just kind of soak in it. That's my recommendation.
Don't sleep, don't eat, don't bathe. Nice stored roll. All right. I am so ready for this run to continue.
Okay, we were only waiting for the blue guy to change colors again so we could continue the run.
Okay, I have to go back inside. All right, all right. I am so ready. I am so ready. All right, this is it. This is it. This is the run. All right, so pick up this soul because we need even more souls. Get me out of here. And then finally, using that key that we got from Ingward, we are going to lower the water. We no longer need our bleed resistance, I guess. And down here. And then back up again is the ring. I'm going to do some quick menuing, sort some stuff out. And Homeward Bone, yes. We're going to do a cute little dupe of the Homeward Bone. We queue it up, and then we go in the menu and use something else. Et voila. Alright, now that we're back, we're going to talk to this guy over here, Mr. Petrus, because he has a miracle we really, really want. That miracle is Homeward. But first, he makes us join his club. We have to say yes 2 times, or else he will not let us have that miracle we want. So we're going to buy a talisman. We're using a glitch called prompt swap to buy the next miracle over that we can't afford, but we can still afford the talisman. And now we just bought Homeward. We had to do that twice because Homeward wasn't right next to the talisman we could afford. It was 1 down, so we had to buy the one above it. Alright, now that Homeward is attuned, we are so ready. I want that hilt. To go to Quelaag. Unfortunately, we don't have the master key, so we have to do a skip called Blighttown Skip, which I will now do flawlessly for all of you. It involves setting up our position at the top of the elevator. Our position's no longer being updated because elevators aren't considered by the game to be stable ground. But then we're hopping into New Londo Ruins for 1 frame using that little setup. That spawns us up at the top, but with New Londo Ruins loaded, so we clip out of bounds. And now we're out of bounds, and we are going to go on a little adventure that will find us in Quelaag's domain. Oh, feeling good about this, actually. Oh, hey, that was pretty good.
Nice.
All right,
Like, this is
Quelaag's
painful
domain
to learn, and this was quite good.
is right down here. Just going to take a little bit of extra damage to set up our TSR. And we've move swapped with our Drake Sword, which now has the moveset of the S-Stock, at least for the running attack. So you're going to see us do a slightly... Oh, okay, that was frightening. Different attack for our running attack, but it works. It just works. And goodbye, Quelaag.
Nice.
I hope you enjoyed SCM 2024, Quelaag. We'll see you next year.
Yep, that's the final Quelaag of SCM 2024. True. Okay, I need to remember to heal before I drop down, or else I will Giga die. So, we're going to ring the spell. This will allow us to speak with Frampt, who's going to tell us yada yada yada, something, lore, plot, that's required for finishing the game. And then we're going to do a funny little thing to get back up. We are not going to rest at this bonfire. We're going to attempt to kick this guy out of the way. Cool. And we're going to do a glitch called Homeward Wrong Warp. First try.
Nice.
So what that did was we tried to cast the spell Homeward. Homeward works just like a Homeward Bone. It takes you back to your last bonfire, but we cast it with a different spell's animation, Fireball. Fireball has the specific property that it has a short enough casting time that after Homeward has started to do its thing, I'm forgetting how to English because I'm also trying to play the game. You wanna explain, Benny?
Homeward Runward?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this game in general gets really confused with if you try to mess with warp functions. So what we did in there was we used the spell swap glitch to use Homeward, but with the animation of the fireball. And when we did that, we changed our last rest at the bonfire by resting in front of that NPC. I forgot the name. The Quella's sister. And by resting there, we kind of messed up with the function a bit because it kind of didn't know where to warp us. So we performed what we call a wrong warp. So we basically got a warp to a predetermined location for the last bonfire we rested at, which was right in front of Firelink Shrine. So it's a really useful glitch. We'll do a few more times in this run, and it's really
Yeah, the gist, I guess, the 5-second summary is we do it, and it warps us to some location based on our last bonfire because the game got confused.
silly game.
Alright,
Always getting confused.
by the way, I have 22 million souls now. Not really important, but I went ahead and I spoke to Griggs, who we rescued from a lower undead berg earlier. I bought some spells from him, a casting tool, and 2 rings. Partially because they're rings, but also because they're very helpful for magic, which is going to be our main source of damage now. And also with those 22 million souls, we're going to do some levels real quick. $33 vitality, because why not? 34 attunement, so we can cast spells. 40 endurance, so we have a lot of stamina. 45 dexterity, I got that one perfect, so we can cast spells as fast as possible. And 99 intelligence, because that makes our spells do the most damage. Incense Fortress, which is now open, we are going to take a few, nice jump, little side paths to get some extra rings. We're also going to progress Siegmeyer's questline because he has a couple of rings that he gives us. We're also going to free Logan, although Logan doesn't have any rings. He does have spells, and we are spell lovers now, so that's what we're up to. Yay for not getting hit by the pendulum.
But currently, there most likely is a route, a BKHS route that doesn't use magic that is faster than this, but this one is cooler, and it uses magic, so no one
Wow,
really
spoiler alert.
messed around that much with BKHS.
But yeah, so by the way, that Drake Sword R2 that I did, that doesn't actually break the wall there, which we had to do to free Logan here. It's actually the flyback animation that the snake does when you hit him with it that breaks the wall. This game has a lot of interesting behaviors to do with things breaking because of other things in ways that are perhaps not intended. We're gonna do another one of those in just a moment after we talk to Siegmeyer here.
We also did it in the Asylum to break the... Actually, no, we didn't do it in the Asylum, right?
Yeah, not
I
in this
forgot.
run.
Yeah. But you can do that in the Asylum to save time in some routes.
Yeah, in most runs, your character stand-up animation will break the wall that leads to Oscar rather than the boulder, and it saves in-game time, although it doesn't save real time.
Like, it's really funny because it is such a small thing, but we count that as a glitch. So some glitchless runs have been not accepted in the leaderboards because they did that and they didn't notice it was a glitch.
Speaking of breaking walls in manners that might be considered glitchy. So again, it's not the boulder that's breaking the wall there, it's actually our character's knockback animation from getting grazed by the boulder. So there is the covetous gold serpent ring. Absolutely useless. We will not make any use of it whatsoever.
The only use of it will be to throw it at the Legion at the end of the run.
Oh, yep, true. That is a use for it. We have to push this lever as part of Siegmeyer's questline, because the next place he'll be is Anarlondo, but only if we push that lever. And talk to him before. Otherwise, he just won't. And then we'll be sad and alone. Up in Anarlondo, no true friends. I say true friends. We're gonna see just how I treat my friends in this run, coming soon. But first, more rings. So down here is a ring. There's a couple dudes in the way. And the way I've decided to get past them is to fail the parry.
Nice.
I didn't even need to parry him because he backed up. Usually he's just in the way. And then this guy, you can run past him, but then sometimes he'll just mess you up. I don't want to risk it for a marathon. So, bye-bye. We got the flame stone plate ring, yet another ring. You can see the numbers going up in the top right of your screen. That 1 became a 2 a little while ago. And we're at 12 rings out of 41. Yeehaw. Couple more rings and sends that we're gonna get. We're gonna buy from the merchant over here. He sells 2 rings. In addition, we're also going to buy a shield. And we're going to use the prompt swap glitch to buy a very heavy axe. We use the prompt for buying arrows, which has a quantity. The axe normally doesn't, but if you are able to buy the axe with the purchase prompt of the arrows, you can now buy 1 axe that is a 2 axe, which has the weird property that now your axe is twice as heavy as normal. We're going to be using that to set up RTSR later, because the heavier you are, the more fall damage you take. And fall damage do be damaging us, which is a thing we need to do to activate RTSR.
And it's also a cool reference to the dead No Wrong Warp Route XX. Rest in peace.
That was a little monka. But yeah, this guy, we just do a bit of damage below his legs. First 400 staggers him. Next 200 makes him fall on his butt, and because he's angled the right way with the setup we did, he is now fallen off, and we can proceed. That is actually a developer intended, as far as we can tell. Like, specially programmed thing. It's not just like an accident of the coding, as far as you can tell.
It would be incredibly funny if it was an accident of the coding.
That would be funny. Like maybe he passes through a kill plane or something that they forgot to exclude him from, or I don't know. I don't know how games work. That 3 is how many days you have left to live.
What?
Somebody asked in chat what the 3 is.
Yeah, it's just
I thought this was Lord of the Rings, not The Ring.
Well, so normally I would be setting up RTSR with fall damage on the way to ONS, but we actually met an incentive that I am not allowed to use RTSR for ONS. So I cast fall control just so I'm not taking damage.
I was going to remind you of the incentive, but it sounds like you've been mentally preparing already.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't practice until I did like 30 minutes of practice fighting them without RTSR today. Up until that point, I'd never done it before in my life, so we'll see how it goes. Believe it or not, that extra damage makes it easier. And also, I messed up my inventory. Boop. Alright, it's fixed.
You're sure you have enough casts for the no RTSR fight, right?
Oh, yeah, I should.
Okay.
Also, more menuing I'm forgetting, and now we're quitting out. So that entire area we were just standing on as an elevator, so it's not considered stable ground. So we moved it down there, but our last stable position was up here. And now we're going to do a rather complicated glitch that I would like to quickly explain. I'm going to cast fall control, and then I'm going to do something called air rolls, where we chain rolls in the air, as it were. Those are going to take us down there to where we will survive the fall due to the iframes of the rolls plus fall control. And now fall control will be keeping us alive because we will have passed through a death plane that is now trying to kill us every single frame that we're on the ground. You will see a blue trail following us, but in that condition, the area over there's collision won't have loaded, so we will be able to navigate through that shortcut door to Mr. Giant Blacksmith. And let's go. We're in a top-down camera state because that is that's the kind of plane I was talking about, the death cam plane. It does that to your camera to give you a cinematic view while you're falling. It also disables loading, which is why we're now able to go through that door that's locked over there. And hopefully I don't get hit by this giant again, because I tried to practice to make sure, and then he never gave me the attack that messed me up. Mom. Okay. Well, thank you. Okay. This is difficult. Okay. I can't. I'm dead.
Nice.
We tried. All right, take two.
Hashtag bring back the old Hunter Sorrow route. That'd be the old setup for that, so you don't have to deal with those guys.
All right, this time to go down. Oh, hey, there's my souls. To go down this elevator, I'm going to do a fall control quit out. Never mind. All right. Take three. Take three is usually where we get it historically. Fall control quit out is where you cast fall control. That actually delays your character dying from fall damage if it were to be a lethal height. If it wasn't to be a lethal height, it just won't do any damage at all. So you land on the ground and it's going to kill you, but you just quit out before it does. It saves your position at the bottom and you are all right. Everything is good. The world goes back to normal. And I'm going to need that S-stock for running through these rafters. That is one of the two reasons I want the S-stock. Oh, hey, here's the second of two reasons. How lucky are we to see that? And I need to equip the Drake Sword to be in the right range of equip load to be able to do the air rolls. And now we're doing this again. Welcome back to Deathcam Land. And we are simply going to survive this time because that giant over there is not going to do the attack that keeps messing me up for some reason. We are a little light on souls right now because we lost them over there from dying to the fall control quit out, but we can make it up. It's fine. Souls are basically free in this game. Just a little roll, just because we can, and we are through. Went through the door, and we have to quit out over here. So we reset this thing. Otherwise, fall control will run out, and we will die. First try, thank you. There's a ring over here, which is like why we're coming over here in the first place. The Hawk Ring. And let me out, thank you. And how brave do we feel, Benny? Do we want to take a safety bonfire? I think that would kind of kill the vibe if we did that.
I'm a guy that really doesn't mind loading a save, so that's my take on it.
That giant is right on my heels.
All I'm gonna say is
regret this.
it's the Souls Speedruns marathon, not the Souls Safety Runs marathon.
You are so right. So normally we would be doing a much more scripted version of this phase 1 fight where I do a glitch that temporarily deactivates their AI and then I'm able to kill them before it comes back to life fully. Ow. Using the extra damage from Red Tearstone Ring. But I do not want to do this fight in that range without the AI break. Also, I'm not allowed to use Red Tearstone range. So we are actually killing Smo first, so that in phase 2 we'll fight Super Ornstein instead of Super Smo, which is not what 99% of speedruns of this game do. It's just a lot better and faster generally to fight Super Smo rather than Super Ornstein for phase 2, but what's he doing? Super Ornstein drops a ring. So we are going to shoot this guy with magic until he died.
4.
Oop. It's counting up ominously.
Yeah.
And there we go. We're actually not going to grab that ring right now because, oh my gosh, we made it.
Nice.
We're gonna grab that when we double back in a moment.
Do you have time for a celebratory dono?
Sure. I'm just gonna talk to Guinevere here because you're not allowed to kill her because she gives you a ring.
Oh, that's nice. I'm glad she gets to survive one of these.
Yeah.
I have a $10 donation from Musa Sisters, who says, "The race is over. SCM moves on, but I don't. Late at night, I think of you. The night turns into days, into weeks. I can't get you out of my mind. You were the wind that never was. Your strength could not save you. You ran so fast you could not see that you ran your way into my heart. Franker Zambino, I will never forget you." Thank you for that generous donation and that lovely poem to Franker Zambino.
That was incredible. Thank you. All right. We're just going back this way. I grabbed the ring from Super Ornstein's corpse. Just over here, we have a little bit of unfinished business with Sigmire. We're going to do the next step of his quest, which is he is sitting outside of a room going, and we are going to solve his problem for him by shooting the Silver Knights in that room with magic. And then he will be so happy, he will give us a ring. It's just a quit out to de-aggro all those guys I ran past. Nice bad parry. These guys, they just stand there because their aggro range is short. And I need the bone. That again was another dupe of the bone, so we used it, but we didn't actually consume it. That would be more helpful if I had all of the 300,000 something souls I would normally have here, but oh well. Coming back this way one more time to join Gwendolyn's Covenant and get a ring from them. Another fall control quit out, first try. Easy glitch.
Nice.
Thank you. This is just a bunch of running. Just chill. We're just chilling.
Yeah, this category in general has a lot of running, but I think that's one of the cool things about it. Because like to see a lot of areas that you normally wouldn't.
Yeah, scenic tour through Lordran.
Yeah.
Kind of fits the theme too. I mean, Frodo did a lot of running on his way to Mordor,
Yes.
True.
which you would know, Benny, if you'd seen Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King, released in 2003, directed by Peter Jackson.
I didn't know the movies were that old.
Oh, yeah.
I was about
They
to
came out when I
say
was a
my
baby.
memory of seeing them as a kid, but it would expose me for being old-j, so I better keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, like I was I don't think I was able to speak when that movie was released. So
Oh, I could speak. I could go to third grade and tell everyone how insane I thought the Fellowship of the Ring was.
that's
Here
cool though.
comes the
That's cool.
Balrog.
The Balrog is indeed coming up in this run. No, not really. Just now we did another glitch for breaking stuff that... Where am I going right now? I come to Firelink Shrine so often, I'm like, what am I doing at this point in the run?
Man, that would happen to me in any percent. So happening to you in Lord of the Rings is more than acceptable.
I need to real quickly... Souls are here. What am I doing? I need to real quickly get myself some money to make up for the dying earlier.
Can I get some Logan Z's?
I need more money. It's expensive.
Heading out,
Okay, we've got ourselves some magic from Logan, and now we're gonna get a ring from Griggs here.
You've lost it, haven't you? Then I have.
Thank you, Griggs. That was very nice of you. Next stop is Catacombs and Tomb of the Giants, but first, since this is right on our way, we're gonna place the Lord Vessel.
Man, we've been getting some banger colors on the blue guy this run.
Well, so in Catacombs, we're going to get the Darkmoon Seance Ring, which would have been handy for talking to Gwendolyn earlier, but instead we used the glitch where we broke the statue guarding the way with our stand-up animation, which is a glitchy interaction. You're not obviously supposed to break it in-game. As such, you're supposed to use the ring to reveal that secret area, or you turn Anorlando dark. But instead, we're going to get the ring down here. Additionally, we are going to get the Silver Serpent Ring in Tomb of the Giants. And we're going to grab a Skull Lantern, because we can trade that later for a Fog Ring. There's a 2% chance this guy will drop one, but we're never that lucky. Right, we're gonna tune the new spells we got. These are a lot better than the ones we had before, and they will carry us through the rest of the game. We have Homing Soul Mass and we have Soul Spear. Absolutely goated. But before we get a chance to use them, we're just gonna do a little bit of parkour to get down to the Darkmoon Seance Ring. Yep. I love the sound that some of the enemies make in this game. Like there's like the necromancers that make a sound that's like, ugh. It's like my favorite sound in the game.
I really like the skeleton building up from the ground sound, because there's one classic song from YouTube tutorials, like early days YouTube tutorials, that starts exactly with that sound, and I find it really funny.
Had a little brain fart moment where I forgot where I was going, but right now we're going down to the bottom of the catacombs. And because we have a zillion levels, we have lots of resistance and lots of health, so those bone wheel guys aren't very scary. But we cast fall control, and then when we plunged on the edge, it just, I honestly don't know how that particular interaction works. But the fact that you have fall control active after you've plunged on the edge makes it so that as long as you don't move your character, you'll just survive when you land on the bottom.
If I recall, it's like the game counted as you have landed already. So yeah, that's the thought that I can remember.
That sounds like Dark Souls to me. We're in Tomb of the Giants now. Oh.
Like there's more likely a timer involved in some way, but I don't know how.
There's always a timer involved in From Software coding. Just everything they do, the logic is based around timers ticking down. But well, we took that bonfire because we're going to need to grab a couple of things. First, we're going to kick ourselves down here rather than letting Patches do it. To grab this skull lantern. Skull lantern, like I mentioned earlier, is going to become a fog ring when we trade it with Snuggly the Crow. But then next we're going to come over here and just for swag points, I'm going to see if I can do Foggate skip, a skip that saves 3 seconds and can kill you. Hooray, I did it.
Nice. That skip looks really simple, but it really requires some good amount of practice and precision.
Up there was a Silver Serpent's Ring. So now we're gonna warp to Undead Parish, except actually then we're immediately gonna warp back to Firelink. That's just so our last bonfire is Undead Parish. It's a little optimization so that next time we Dark Sign, it'll take us to Undead Parish. Saves a warp. But in Firelink, we're gonna do 2 things. One, we're gonna acquire a ring.
Who would have guessed, right?
Thank you. And we're gonna go back to the Undead Asylum because there's a ring there. So that will require us to come up here, jump on this elevator, go up, go around, etc., etc., etc. Fun times. Woohoo! Sound effects are mandatory.
You need to make one of those mods where you change all of the sound files in the game with your own voice.
Okay. I forgot to mention, we're going to reorganize the heck out of my inventory real quick. Bellowing ring goes, oh my gosh, it goes here. Okay, we didn't quite have time to move. So that's just inventory optimization. The first thing is that skull lantern's right there, so I can drop it quickly. The other is I moved two of the most important rings in the run, Red Tearstone Ring, Bellowing Dragon Crest Ring, both of which increase your damage with magic, or in general, to specific spots, so they'll be next to other rings later. Because we planned ahead. We are not winging this. And let me through, please. It's free because you have lots of health right now. That boulder gets moved back to the top for some reason, but too bad for whoever moved that.
The hollows are really skinny, but they can easily drag that back up, Sisyphus style.
Yeah, the hollows in this game are very giga. They deadlift hundreds of pounds, whatever that is in non-freedom units.
Then flash riding twice.
All right. And Andre doesn't have a ring, but he has the Crest of Artorias, and he politely gave it to us as fast as possible. We skipped. That's just so we have access to the rest of Darkroot Garden, which, believe it or not, has some rings. So we're gonna have to go there. First thing to do here is we are set up for air rolls to come right back down here to the bottom of Darkroot, because then up these steps is the Wolf Ring, which boosts poise. Very handy ring in certain situations.
Also rip that tree when you do the arrow.
Did I do damage to a tree or something?
No, it fell with you in the hole.
Oh, nice. But, well, before we do our stuff in Darkroot Garden, we're actually going to do... Wait for it. Drumroll, please. I'm trying to remember the words. Homeward Wrongward.
Nice.
And since our last bonfire is the parish one, it's going to take us to Undeadburg. And also, my rings are wrong, because I never... Hold up. I never equipped Red Tearstone Ring. Yeehaw. Hooray! Okay. An attempt was made to do a skip there, but it's an impossible skip, so I gotta run around and try it again.
Also, this is the second version of Lower Deadberg skip you see in this run. And Lower Deadberg skip is one of those skips that there are 300 trillion different versions of the skip because it's just how the way is built, the game is built. There's a lot of different ways of doing it, so it's really cool.
There we go, first try.
Nice.
Heal for safety, because I'm a cowardly fool. We're coming down here, literally just for one ring, but in the meantime, Capra has the key to the depths, which is where we're going. The quit out resets enemy aggro and also puts us right outside the arena the moment we get the key. And behold, we're coming all this way for the Ring of the Evil Eye, which we will never speak of again, because it's not going to come in handy. Just behind that dude. Boop. Sound effects again. I don't know if that sound effect went through.
I heard it at least. I hope this stream did as well.
All right, next thing up, we are going to go to Hydra. We are going to slay the Hydra for a myriad of reasons. One, the Hydra drops a ring, the Dust Crown ring. It's a useful ring in its own right. It halves your HP. That is supposed to be the downside, the upside being that it increases the number of spell casts you have. But actually, it'll be our upside, reducing our health, because it makes it easier to set up RTSR to do extra damage. And by the way, you'll know RTSR is set up in the future when you see our character glowing pink and a pink icon underneath the health bar. We equipped our heavy as heck axe to take extra damage. Fall control, please. We're going to do another plunge down to Hydra.
Also nice, 12 rings left.
Ooh, yeah, 12 is a good number. This is known. And there's Hydra. Easy. The other reason that we're here for this is once we slay Hydra, quitting out will make this golden golem spawn. Inside is Dusk, who is trapped, and we're going to rescue her. Yay for not dying. Thank you, Dusk. That is so that we can access the DLC later. So we put on the Dust Crown ring to half our HP. This is part of an RTSR setup here. We're baiting this knight called the Consistent Knight, and I'm still not 100% clear if that's supposed to be ironic or not. To attack us, doing damage. But next thing up, we're talking to this cat. Look at this cat talk. Isn't she cute? She's a cat. Oh, I walked out of range. She gives us a ring when we join her silly covenant, and being in the covenant allows us to talk to that guy, meaning later he'll be down in Blighttown, and we can go there, and he has some rings for us. But last thing we're going to do in Darkroot is we're going to go to Sif. Sif has a ring that we're going to clutch from her cold dead paws, and there's a ring behind the grave she's guarding. We're nice like that.
Yeah, Sif is overall not a very liked the boss by the community due to being a big run killer. Like a really RNG heavy boss, so.
Strat here, by the way, to the best of my knowledge, is we cast Homing Soul Arrow, and then we hit R1 with Soul Spear. Why did I think I would automatically pick that up? Until Sif dies. Oh, come on. Yes, yes, please. Thank you. I keep forgetting that the prompt switches to no because you talked to somebody. Up next, we are doing us a little warp to the Daughter of Chaos bonfire that we took earlier. I'm gonna rest at it so we come back here later. But we're gonna do a neat little glitch. It's going to take us down to Fire Sage Demon, who is directly below. That was a bigger step than I wanted to do. But so the way this works is we're going to clip down through this elevator that we're standing on, because the elevator is actually part of a different map. So you can see it loading in a fraction of a second later than the rest of the map. Like, it's very visibly delayed. But we're quitting out repeatedly because our stand-up animation actually makes a character move back a little bit. And as you can see now, we're starting to clip through from moving backwards. And now we're gonna plunge with our Drake Sword right on this guy's head. We don't have to kill Fire Sage, strictly speaking. We can skip him, although that is harder and slower. But he is the way to Centipede Demon, who has a ring for us. Centipede's arm, specifically, has the... Benny, what's the ring called? English isn't my forte today.
The orange something?
Yeah, orange charred ring.
Yes.
Look
Yeah.
at us. We are knowledgeable experts in our field. There is a smoke alarm going off in my house. But, yeah, we don't even need to kill Centipede, we just need to chop off his arm.
It's the lava that triggered the alarm.
Oh, I need to shoot him first. Also, I forgot I was still in the prompt swap profile, so that didn't go quite as smoothly as I would have liked. That's why I kept casting instead of, But yeah, now we're
How
gonna
long
do...
were you in the prompt swap profile?
Since dusk, I guess. But yeah, another Homeward Wrong Warp, and because our last bonfire was that one, we are now at the top of Blighttown. Onward with our ring collecting. There are 3 rings here. There is the Chloranthy ring in the Great Hollow, and then Shiva, who we talked to earlier in Darkroot Garden, has a couple of rings. Or more specifically, he has 1 ring, and his bodyguard has another. We're going to politely ask the bodyguard to hand it over. We're going to get down to Blighttown with a fall control quit out. So this actually takes us out of bounds, up on a slope around the outside, but we can just roll down. And do a slope quit out, I guess. Sometimes I mess up those rolls, and that is the way to recover it. That stores our position at the bottom. Also, Rusted Iron Ring. That lets us run through the swamp here. Yeah, we're just going through the Great Hollow. Luckily, we don't have to go very far. I don't like this area very much. It confuses my tiny little brain. So it's nice to just in and out. So the ring is right down here. Don't worry, Goofball will be tortured later to pay for his layout crimes. I deserve it. I understand. Cool.
If you don't know, like Buffo has a plugin on Lightspeed that tells him the score of the current soccer game he's into, and it's 1-0
Yes.
for his team.
Yeah, I'm really happy about that. Right, I'm gonna just cast Fall Control here, because I've forgotten how to do these rolls. Oh, well, I did it perfectly. But yeah, by the
Nice.
power of the Rusted Iron Ring, which is a very based ring, we're able to run through swamps and deep water instead of having to trudge through them or roll through them.
It's so satisfying seeing you go to the DLC later on with this ring, because you don't need to do the annoying running through the slopes, and I hate that so much about any route that goes to the DLC.
It's also funny how Shiva and that bug just get blocked by that wooden plank so they can't do anything to me while I'm waiting for him to die and drop his stuff. Next stop, Anor Londo. It's 11 down to get to the Chloranthy ring, which is a handy ring to have for a long running segment because the Chloranthy ring increases your stamina regen. And the reason we need to come to Anor Londo is because we have to break into Seath's prison and then break out. There's a ring in there. So most runs, Dark Souls, they do Duke skip. You skip most of the Duke's archives, including the prison and the scheduled encounter. Scheduled? That's not a word. The encounter where you're scripted to die. Scripted. Yeah, that's it. But instead, we are going right there. And then we're going to do a funny little trick to escape from the prison very, very quickly. But no spoilers. I'll describe it when we get closer. In the meantime, we're hoping we don't get gigabored. Moving the Chloranthy ring down here, next to the Bellowing ring for later. And we gotta kill this golem here to get the key to the DLC. After this, we have to go to the DLC. There's a ring in the DLC. We have to go all the way to the DLC for one measly little ring.
And it's the weirdest ring in the game where it gives you more damage. So
Oh hey Benny, my game's tied.
damn it. It'll come back though, I believe.
I still have this fog ring on, by the way. I put it on to affect the aggro behavior of the enemies down there, just to make it a little more chill to run through there, but it also makes this guy not react to me, so he... Why did I think he was going to drop something? And up here is Seath. Gonna put on the Curse Bite ring just to be safe. Edge. Oh no, I'm dead. Whatever will he do?
Man, the FPS from that attack will never stop being funny in this game.
Putting on the flip ring just for style. I meant to put it on earlier. So that's us lighting the bonfire there and whacking that guy so that he drops his key. But so this is just the way up here to get to that one silly little ring we need. But then, nice. We're gonna exit the prison by just resting at the bonfire from outside of the cell. Normally, you're not supposed to be able to warp from here, but the thing that stops you from warping is actually programmed into the floor of the cell. So if you're able to rest from outside, you're just able to warp, so you can leave. And we're gonna homeward wrong warp. Our last bonfire was Parish again, so that'll place us right over here. I'm remembering too late to do my ring menuing. This is really fast, by the way, when you remember to do stuff, because you're not trying to explain everything you're doing in the very moment. But anyway, right down here for our second pass through Undead Berg, there's a blue tier stone ring. And let's see, 2 more rings. We have Havel's ring, and we have the ring in the DLC. And it's just funny how, for that one ring, it's like one of the biggest ordeals of the entire run. Like, Lord of the Rings no DLC would be a noticeably shorter run. Down here is Havel. While he's dying, I'm going to put on the Rusted Iron ring and the Chloranthy ring. 1 more ring to go, and then we have to cast them into the fire. And that 1 ring, we're going to have to fight 2 bosses. We're going to have to run across this big old pond over here. And by fight 2 bosses, I mean first, Sanctuary Guardian is going to be in the way. I'm actually going to do an AFK fight for them, which is normally what I do for Ornstein and Smo, but because of the incentive, I didn't. The AFK fight makes it so that it's pretty complicated to explain. Benny, would you like to explain it? But let me just quickly say, after we're done with him, we're going to run straight to Calamite, who is the boss that has the ring. And instead of doing the normal side quest that unlocks the boss fight with Calamite, we are just going to snipe him out of the air with Soul Spear. Anyway, I'm going to do this now, if you want to explain things, Benny.
Yeah, so the AFK Guardian, like we showed an AFK setup already, but basically there's a list in the game that if something is in the list, then enemies can aggro to that thing on the list. And usually when you enter the arena, actually before your character should be on the list to get aggro by Guardian, but by doing some specific setups with the toggles that can unload the character, we can just avoid being put on that list. So he should be standing still. I'll listen to the first attack, which allows us to get closer to him. Oh, nice.
I had to recover that a little bit. That didn't quite go the way I wanted it to go, but it's fine. We're all good. Offless Calamate's Prage is going to be really based, so that'll be good at least.
You proved all the physicists wrong of that fight, showing that 2 bodies can be on the same space. Get ready for your Nobel Prize.
My Nobel Prize. I thought you said Nobo Prize, and I was like, what?
Oh.
That shield that I just put back on, not only is it useful, I have to have it equipped to be in the right weight load for air rolls in just a moment. Up ahead, there's the other end of a shortcut that normally you take back to here, but instead we're going to go backwards through it. Shortcuts. I explained that in the most complicated way I possibly could. Basically, we're going to skip this area with the help of this shortcut.
Yeah, this is another skip that there are multiple ways of doing. And overall, that's a really cool thing about this game, that there's a lot of variety for a lot of different things.
Right, I'm going to go ahead and cast Fall Control for dropping down into Calamate's arena, and now I'm going to run past these dogs and hope they don't get me on the way. They're pretty scary. I could, like, one backup I could do is I could like just try to kill the dogs, but they really like to dodge out of the way of your magic, and it's actually shockingly slow. So I would prefer not to. We're just gonna roll the wheel of not dying again, and it'll probably be fine. One of the items I have in my item hotbar right now is the blue eye orb. I like to call it the blue guy orb. But that is actually, because it's an item that we can't use right now. When we try to use it, our character will do a shrug, and we're actually going to use those shrugs to time. Kind of scary low stamina right now. Alright, we're fine. To time the cycles with Calamate here. Hi, doggy.
Not concerning at all.
Yep, he dead.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I missed a soul spear there, so we're gonna have to do 3 cycles. Alright, there's Calamate's health bar, which we can see through the wall, by the way. That's how we know that he's coming back. Besides the rhythmic shrugging, they kind of work hand in hand. And he only needs 1 more, but I'm gonna unload on him because heck this guy.
True.
And well, he's still flying, but what am I doing? Oh. He's actually dying right there, so we're gonna bone out. And I remembered what I was trying to do. I needed to equip the Dust Crown Ring. So, final homeward wrong warp. Unless something goes wrong, we are going to go here into the Kiln of the First Flame. Or rather, Firelink Altar.
Cast it into the fire.
Yup, that's what we're doing right now. But when our last bonfire is that, and we do a homeward wrong warp. First try. Hey. That'll actually take us past that locked door, and now we're in the Kiln of the First Flame.
Now it's
And
Frankerzy
I
time
have-
for everyone.
Yes. Frankerzies, please. Alright, that is purposeful damage to set up our TSR. I need to remember to put back on the Bellowing Dragon Crest ring, which I've once again forgotten to mention is a ring that... No, I did mention it. It increases your magic damage.
So I can jump right there.
Thank you. These knights are basically scripted, except for the Great Sword one, who sometimes you have to dodge, but otherwise you just run past them basically the same way every time, so it's pretty chill. We're chilling. I think I've never actually died to this one, for example. I was just hoping that I would die, because that would be funny.
Just daydreaming about throwing for content.
Okay. I didn't stagger him because all of the homing soul arrows missed. I'm mixing up games. They're called soul masses in this, aren't they? But, yep, there he goes.
GG.
And it's
GG.
going to be time and right now. All right, one more thing though, because this is the procedure. We gotta count the rings. Even though the counter counted them, we gotta count them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 39. So we're pretty bad at our jobs. Only 2 of the rings actually get destroyed in the fire. Those are the key items, the Covenant of Artorias and the Orange Charred Ring. Those are removed from your inventory when you go into New Game Plus for progression reasons, but the rest you get to keep. So we have 39 still. Yeehaw. That is the run. And hi, how you doing?
Well, great job, Goofball. Arguably, that run was better than Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy, both in terms of plot, dialogue, and I would say scene setting as well.
True, true.
That's a high praise.
I don't think they
appreciate
had that cool blue guy, so. And I don't
True,
think they
that's
had a
not in the
soccer game
movies.
going on in the background as well.
Yeah, also true. Also true.
Oh,
I'm
and
not
also
sure if
to
there's a single
everyone.
blue guy in all of Lord of the Rings, now that you mention it.
Yeah, at least not that kind of blue guy. I don't know if any of the orcs are blue, but
Not really. Gollum's kind of a gray guy. I don't think that counts.
not quite. No. Well,
But
yeah.
also to everyone saying about the 2-1 score, like I think I have an intuition that if we wait long enough, it will go back to a 2-0. So we still have hope.
Actually, I'm gonna go back right now to non-existent.
We cancel the game.
Yeah. All the players are dead. They've been.
Do you guys have any final thoughts, shout outs, thank yous, anything you want to say to the people before we go to intermission?
Thank you so much for having me in this marathon. It's quite a tough act to follow. I'm just looking at this guy right now. It's quite a tough act to follow the relay, but I'm really happy to be here. So
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you, Paul, for inviting me to be here, and also thank the community for all of the cool community stuff that has happened in all of these years since I've been part of it. So thank you very much, everyone. Franker, what's the emote? Franker, a word, Bino Bino.
Franker inclusive Bino Bino.
Yes, that
Franker
one.
inclusive Bino Bino, yeah.
Yeah, Bony.
Bony Bino, that's right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, well, thanks a lot,
Also,
guys.
the last thing, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say extremely swaggy Uwu in reference to the really old marathon we did. That was the highlight of the marathon, and I really liked that moment. But yeah, thank you very much.
All right, well, thank you again, Goof and Benny. And I think we are going to turn it over to an intermission, but don't go anywhere. We still have more SCM 2024 in store. Coming up next is the grand finale. It's going to be Elden Ring. It's going to be Mitch Riz and Blanks. So stick around.